So a vital part of Wilder Trent is the River Trent itself. The River Trent is the third longest river in the UK, and it travels from Staffordshire through Derbyshire, across Leicester, Nottingham and off to Yorkshire. And previously, the landscape surrounding the River Trent would have been fantastic wetland habitat. So we'd have reed beds, swamps, fen habitat, wet woodlands across the landscape. And over time, pressure on land development and quarrying, along with agricultural pressures, have caused the river to become much more disconnected to its floodplain, and we've lost vital habitat, and the land's become much more fragmented. So a core aim of Wilder Trent is to re-establish the River Trent as the wildlife corridor it should be, to allow migratory birds to move across the whole of England, to allow our mammals like otters and waterfowl to forage freely within the floodplain landscape, and have fish and invertebrate habitat which is prime and allows them to expand naturally. Willington Wetlands is a former quarry where they extracted gravel, and when the quarry closed down, it left a large number of pits, deep pits, mixture of scrubland and grassland. And when Derbyshire Wildlife Trust acquired the 114-acre site in 2005, they spent a lot of time with staff and volunteers managing the site to re-establish the wildlife that should be here. In 2021, Derbyshire Wildlife Trust gained a licence to bring back beavers to Derbyshire, and we introduced 4 adults. 2 of the adults paired up, and in 2022, Derbyshire had the very first kits that they've had since the 13th century, which was outstanding. And since then, the family has continued to grow, having kits each year. And this year, they're also expected to have more. The family of beavers themselves has had a fantastic impression on the land. They have gone through elements of coppicing out willow in areas of reed that we have never managed to get to ourselves. We once mapped the area of Willington, and we found the tallest tree was actually situated in a bit of willow we've never got to. And once the beavers were on site, they manipulated and took out that willow. And when we remapped where the tallest tree was, it was then on the bank side where we would expect the tallest trees to be. And that is the engineering that us as humans just didn't get the chance to do on site. They've also come along and put in a number of dams to slow the water and pull the water out. This in itself will reduce pollution, allow sediment to drop, and it also slows the flow of water further down, reducing flooding. And these again are the natural behaviours that we as humans have never put in place before here. And it has made new pools, new swamp areas that have just come naturally with the beavers. The beavers have done some fantastic work enhancing our habitats on site. Key habitats like shingle islands, which are brilliant refuges for oyster catchers, lapwings when they're nesting little ring plover. And the reed beds, I believe the fact that they can go in there and produce these channels and manipulate the willow within them has had fantastic results towards the breeding of reed warbler, sedge warbler, reed bunting, and our most iconic bird, the bittern. Willington and the habitat it hosts now is now inviting in species that were once much rarer, including marsh harriers dipping in. We've had juvenile ospreys coming to feed on the pits coming in off the River Trent. We've also had a fantastic sighting in 2023 of a purple heron popping in, one that we've not had before. And we're seeing numbers massively change. So little egrets are coming in at around, in 2023 we had about 68 little egrets, and for the great white egret we had at one point 16 of them on the reserve, which is just phenomenal. In 2023 we had a fantastic record of bitterns breeding here, not only in the Trent Valley for the first time, but the whole of Derbyshire. And that in itself is incredible. The birds are quite elusive. You mainly hear them booming to begin with. And there's been occasions where I've been down here doing a beaver watch, and not only have I had a beaver come out on the bank doing its thing, I've then had bittern booming in the background, a cuckoo cuckooing, and a hobby flying over my head. And it was like I'd died and gone to heaven in that moment. We have been extremely lucky to be able to open up a new 5-mile circular walk here at Willington Wetlands. Thanks to funders from the Veolia Environmental Trust, the Landfill Communities Fund, and contributions from Transforming the Trent Valley, Mansfield Building Society Charitable Trust, and Willington Parish Council, we have now been able to implement a new bridge that reconnects the old bridle way together. We've put in new viewing platforms so that you can see more of the nature reserve. And we have opened up an area that's been inaccessible to the public for approximately 20 years, and allow you to do a full circular walk looking at all the different wildlife we have to offer.